Colorado Family Travels. Good morning on day 3. It's been such a busy morning. I'm coming to you from the line at the Colosseum. We're currently doing the Gladiator gate tour at the Colosseum, so I'm going to throw in some footage that I already got, catch you up, but this is my intro, so we are ready to go into the Colosseum. What seemed to be a theme was we were having such a hard time finding Ubers and taxis, but luckily we found somebody who finally picked us up and took us on every back street he could to get to the Roman Colosseum. There's a lot of construction, a lot of stuff going on, and some of the main roads just weren't accessible, and this is right during the bus strike also, so there's just a lot of people trying to get to a lot of places and a lot of construction for the Centennial coming up next year. One of the themes we found. We made it to the Roman Colosseum, had to walk a little bit to find our guide and find the red flag to meet up because of some of the closures, but got to the Colosseum and got to just enjoy some of the outside views for a little bit. Our guide, with her red umbrella and her red pants, we were following her all over the place. But as you can see, there's still some construction walls around the outside, but going to get in line for the Colosseum, and it was just huge. Going through the gates, walking past a lot of lines, so getting in with the tour guide made it a lot easier and enjoyable, that's for sure. One of the funner things was waiting for the restrooms, as the restrooms were just kind of in a new, almost like RV style that was just kind of stuck in the side of the Colosseum for restrooms, and they said the wait was going to be about 40 minutes. We waited about 10 minutes. So then we got our tour started for the Roman Colosseum.
Looks like the Vatican walls.
Heading through the Gladiators gate. So still standing in the Gladiators gate, and so looking at the arena, but turn around, this is the way the Gladiators would come in. So right across the street, they said there used to be 6 different schools that housed the Gladiators, and they could either walk across the street and come in through the Gladiators gate, or just recently, within the last 100 years, they found a tunnel that you could go from one of the schools to the lower levels. So 2 different ways the Gladiators would come across. But they said it was prestige and parts of being famous coming across the street and walking through the gates. So we got cages here to the right. Following the umbrella in front of us. Wow. On the Colosseum floor, so this was all wood, and then what we're looking at now is the sub-levels, which was all the housing and cages. So just kind of look around. They're talking about they found 60 different elevators down about. So
We're standing on the arena floor where they fought, and then these are the basement levels where all the animals and slaves and whoever was going to be doing the fighting was. This cross is where the emperor would sit. Here's me doing a full circle. You can see how massive this is.
So we are looking around on the Colosseum floor. Really crazy. So there is an elevator over here. We'll turn the camera around. So this is one of the reconstructive elevators. You can see the pulley system that they would have used to bring either an animal or a gladiator up from below. I was told if I didn't say, "Are you not entertained?" wouldn't be a good trip. So I had to do it. So there it is for those people that wanted me to say, "Are you not entertained?" Doing 50 stairs up to the second level. So up on the second level now, you have a better view of the fifth level. She says that stuff up there is still original. Still original up on the fifth level. And we'll turn and see that the rest of it is kind of fallen down. Not sure how the glare is, but so we're above where we were before. But definitely a better view looking down. So this is reconstruction, what it would have looked like. So there's the elevators with a line coming up. So the different entrances that would have been raised and lowered, depending on where an animal or gladiator were coming from. But here is the Colosseum underground. They're saying there was 100 rooms down here. The center corridor was the largest because there was a train system where they would load the animals and move them throughout. So this is some of the items they found on the Colosseum floor, like chicken bones and skulls. One thing that she said at the beginning was the one thing they don't find is a lot of human remains, because they think that they may have used the gladiators that perished during the fights as food for the animals. So what she's talking about now is the fact that during the medieval times or the Dark Ages, when the barbarians or the Germans took over Rome, they weren't using the Colosseum. So the Colosseum went vacant for about 700 years. And then the Pope took back over control and invited everyone back to Rome. So one of the things that she's saying too is that on the return to Italy, they started using the Colosseum as like a condominium. The bottom floor they turned into shops, and they created like housing throughout. And then one of Michelangelo's disciples did a church in the Colosseum. So these are original stairs coming up to the level. So taking a quick 10-minute break up on the second floor, just kind of looking around. It has been fast and furious, but it is really a historical treat, and had a lot of really good experiences. Some great pictures. So just kind of looking out. Again, a lot of construction, a lot of restoration projects going on all over the city for the Jubilee. So a lot of stuff being worked on and trying to get finished, including the metro line. They're adding a new metro line station. She said the C line is going to be added just to the outside. So it's beautiful. So she was saying that this area was rebuilt recently in like 1349, if you call that recent. So one of the only places that there's still original marble that wasn't stolen. So most of these are actually the top of what the column would have been. So these are the capitals at the top of the columns. So what looks like a cross was actually a water fountain that was using to bring water up from the lower levels. So this is what they think was an original restroom. A large room with benches that you just sat on, and then it exited through some of the holes. Alright, we are now exiting the Colosseum. We are heading to the Palatine Hill, so that was really cool. Had a great time inside the Colosseum. Learned a lot. Lots of walking, but we are on our way out. Next up, Palatine Hill.
Scratches because of the chariots. Oh. It has metal wheels. Okay, no need to rush, guys, okay? Attention,
So original cobblestone road. She said the scratches on the rocks are from carriages and the wheels. So originally there was 200 of those columns, and that was an area dedicated to the god Venus. After 2 hours of walking around the Roman Colosseum, the Palatine Hill was just kind of there. It was great. History was amazing. The views, the buildings, architecture, just beautiful, but we were so tired at this point. It was kind of warm as we were walking around, so we were just kind of beat. Jennifer and I just decided to kind of sit and wait for our friends to walk around a little bit. We took some pictures, but that was about it. So enjoyable, but we were kind of done. Here's some of the highlights that we grabbed. With the sun beating down above, look at those blue skies. We are just sitting here, just not a cloud in the sky. Absolutely beautiful. We have finished our tour, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of history, a lot of just connection with Rome. Very awesome. Ended up being right about 3.5 hours. Really good tour. Had some ups and downs. A lot of stairs. So when we start talking about our ADA and who could come, Grandma could not come on this one. A lot of stairs. There was some options for elevators, but uneven cobblestone roads, stairs, steep stairs, so definitely not something that somebody uses as a walker. Saw a lot of people struggling with strollers. That would not recommend, but if you're definitely able to do the walk, it was a lot of fun. So we are done. Next up, we are going to just walk back, because it's a 20-minute walk back to our hotel, or a 40-minute cab ride if you can get a cab to come get you. So we're just going to kind of walk back, and we're going to try to find a place for lunch to stop along the way. So next up, hopefully we're having some pasta. On the walk from Roman Colosseum and the Palatine Hill, we did come across a little restaurant that we thought would be cool to eat at, so we sat down. It was the first place we had got bottled drinks. That was kind of interesting. Then when I walked inside to look around a little bit, saw their container, just some bread, cracker, basically substance that they served us. But a cute little place. We ate outside, but this was the inside when I was walking around. Of course, we look beautiful and happy, don't we? Pasta was amazing. Really enjoyed the pasta. We got a couple different styles between spaghetti bolognese and cacio e pepe. Really good. Had a great time. Lunch was super good. Really enjoyed it. The bacon was very salty, so it made the pasta have even better flavor. Now we are heading back to our hotel, but we're doing kind of a U because we're heading to the Pantheon. Then back to the hotel. We are at the Pantheon. And if I remember correctly, it was Percy Jackson that rearranged the letters for the Pantheon. Pretty cool. I think we're done. that's about it. So I think there's a protest, but not quite sure. And just around the corner from the protest is all these cops just hanging out, just in case. Okay. Well, got back to the hotel room, sat down going, oh, let's take a little nap. 6 hours later. Yeah, so we are now back out. Sky is still beautiful blue back there. We're heading back to the other side, over toward Trevi Fountain, where we spent a lot of time this trip. We're on search for a cannoli, and I think we're finally gonna buy some souvenir stuff that we've been wanting, so, but just kind of relaxing. Woke up, decided to eat our leftover pizza from last night, turned on the TV, and next thing I know, I'm watching Sex and the City.
Lunedì. Come lunedì? Cazzo.
In Italian. I don't want Sex and the City in English, but I was all enthralled. Jen's just looking at me. I'm like, I don't know. So Sex and the City in Italian, I guess. But let's head over past the mall. Let's see if we can find a cannoli. So one of the things that was throwing me off was the characters on the Fanta bottles, and I couldn't figure it out at first because it kind of looked like Spider-Man to me. Then I actually went to the QR code and saw that it was actually Beetlejuice. So I was like, oh, okay, that makes a little more sense. So we're back in the same area we were last night, and we saw them setting up for what we thought was a movie, and they're out here doing Camera de Commercio Roma. I have no clue what's going on. This is a cool little setup. All these cameras.
Parlare di Diomede e contrapporre Diomede a Enea voleva dire, di fatto, contestare la politica culturale di Augusto, contestare
Again, another one of those turn a corner. Went out of our way today to go to the Pantheon. Walking around and we end up at the Pantheon. Just did a bunch of gift shopping. So we got a lot of fun stuff.
Coming next time on Colorado Family Travels.
On our last full day in Rome, we slept in, but then we went out, did an amazing cooking class. First time I've ever done a cooking class. We started with the tiramisu, which was so much fun. Then we made some pasta. And by the time we were done, we had pasta, ravioli, and chunks. Turned out really good. We wrote our name on our little card so we knew which ones was ours. And then we got to eat what we made. It came with the card in it, so you knew it was yours. So much fun. We finished the day at the Spanish Steps. Thanks for watching, everybody. Now for us, it's back to the rat race.